Welcome to NorCal Tea Party Radio.
All across the nation, the party's just begun. Voices speaking loud and clear, there are battles to be won. Gathered here, reunite, join the revolution, 'cause we are strong and standing tall, upholding the Constitution. We the people say.
And now the host of We the People NorCal Tea Party Radio is Ginny Rapini. Jenny is the coordinator of the NorCal Tea Party.
Welcome to We the People Radio. NorCal Tea Party welcomes you today. My name's Ginny Rapini, and I'm the host of the We the People Radio show right here on KTKZ 1380 Radio. Thank you for joining us today. Let me tell you first a little bit about what the Tea Party's about. We stand for three core values: fiscal responsibility, constitutionally limited government, and the free markets. Nothing more, nothing less. We don't get involved in the social issues as they tend to be divisive. We just simply stay focused on those three core values, and I don't see how anybody could disagree with us on those. Also, one thing that differentiates us from many of the groups that are out there is that we are not a pack, nor are we connected to any political party. We are neither Republican nor Democrat. We are conservatives wanting to take our country back to her founding principles. That's it. So that is who we are. If you want to know more, you can go to our website at norcalteaparty.com. That's norcalteaparty.com. Before we get to our guest today, I want to thank Party Concierge for their generous sponsorship for this month for our We the People radio show. Be sure to look them up if you have any party needs. They are the best around. And we want to thank Lawrence and Susan. Today we have with us a guest who's also a friend, and he is with the Benicia Tea Party Patriots. His name is Peter Baker. Peter has been instrumental in the development of something called the Resource Center. It's and also an aggressive Get Out the Vote campaign. So I'm going to have him tell you about both of those today. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Jenny. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Well, thank you. And I understand you got a little bit lost today trying to find this place.
Well, Betty, my guide, must be taking some funny pills because she took me a lot of different places but didn't get me here.
See, Betty didn't like her name. I named mine Bertha. So There you go.
Well, I called her something else today.
I bet. All right. First, let's talk about the Resource Center before the Get Out the Vote campaign. Give us some background on the Resource Center. You know, the who, what, where, when, why, and hows of what on earth is this thing? How did it start? Who's involved? There you go.
We have to go back a ways, about a year and a half, I believe, somewhere around maybe September of 2010. And I attended one of your leadership conferences, and one of the presentations was on something that smacked of a resource center, if you will, or some kind of a network marketing organization or some collaboration. It caught my interest, and after the meeting, I searched you out and said, hey, if you ever need help with the rollout of this, give me a call.
Sucker.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done that. So time goes on, and we get through the holidays, and sometime in early January, Jenny and I spoke again, and she said, let's get together with some people and see if we can put some meat on the bones of this thing. So we got together, and when in going to that event, I also got lost, as I do frequently in Sacramento.
Welcome to my world.
And so I was a little late in arriving, and when I got there were 6 to 8 people, and we just had a discussion about the presentation and what it was called and what it ought to become, and decided from that we needed to put a development team together. And it needed to be representative of pretty much the geographies we were talking about. So we ended up with about 6 to 8 people from a geography of all the way north up to Colfax in Nevada City, south and east into Lodi and Stockton, and west to Benicia, including Vacaville in between. And we got together and we thought, well, we can whip this thing out in about 4 weeks.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, a little over optimistic, I believe. So we struggled with that for a while and changed the name of it from whatever it had been to something we thought was appropriate. And we started building a straw man of what we thought this thing should be and how it should function. We hit a couple of snags along the way, and as a result, we took about a 60-day hiatus from the negotiations, if you will. When we got back together, we re-examined where we were, and we went at it again, and we reviewed everything we had done and decided that this thing that we were creating was more like a resource center, truly a resource center. It would provide, if you will, a reference library for all Tea Party groups to go to get answers to questions they might have. Now, the database that was going to be accessible was going to be built from the experiences of those Tea Party organizations as they grew, the things they did that made them successful.
And I think that that I want to kind of back up just a second before we move forward on this. But the main reason that I think you and I first got together was because of us having launched 31 other groups. And of course, then those 31 group leaders are calling us all the time asking for help. And we wanted to help them, but the human resources are just not there. And so we did this on the assumption that this could help other people in learning how to launch a group and how to sustain that group. Am I right? Correct. Okay.
Yeah, because you were the one that was answering all the questions.
So I did this selfishly, right?
Yeah.
So what has been the response to the site, Peter?
Well, we actually launched it last November, which was probably a year or so after we began talking about it, or close to a year. The response has been very good. A lot of people are very interested. There's a lot of good information on there. I mean, you can, if you have a question about fundraising and you say, gee, I'm having a problem raising funds and for all of the activities I want to do, they can go to the fundraising page and there's directions on how to do a dinner, how to do a movie night, how to do a bunch of things. That page probably gets the most traffic because that seems to be where people are interested in finding out how they can do something.
Now, do you have to be a member to go to the Resource Center? Do I have to sign up, and do I have to pay a dues to be able to get onto the Resource Center?
This is an open website. It's open to everyone who can get on the Internet. There is no dues. We don't mind sharing the information we have with anyone. It's not secret. It can be used. We use it for Tea Party, and we work around Tea Party stuff. But the information that's on there can be used by any organization.
What's the website for the Resource Center?
Well, the original website was called tpgresourcecenter.org. We recently had a meeting at which we were discussing possible changes, and someone suggested that we needed to make it a more user-friendly access. And so we did. You can now get to it by going to howtoteaparty.org or .com.
That's great. And now, can you still get to it if it's in your brain, the tpgresourcecenter.org? Will it link to it? Will it run over to it? Or do you get a blank page?
It still gets there.
Okay.
TPG Resource Center is still up. Actually, what happens is How to Tea Party links to the TPG Resource Center is the way we did it.
Okay, good. So How to Tea Party, that sounds like a lot of fun. All right, so you said you had a development team, and you mentioned the areas that these people were from. What were the hopes and dreams or goals of the development team for this resource center?
The hopes and dreams were to provide for everyone an easy access to get any question they might have answered. And those are hopes and dreams now, because you can't anticipate all of the questions that might come up. And we've done a fairly decent job with that. There is a lot of stuff left that has to go in there. But if we can get that populated with every good idea from every group in California or wherever, it's going to go a long way towards helping people concentrate on what we're all about rather than how do I do it.
Right. So they'll be able to be more efficient in what they do. Now, when someone would go to the resource center, would they be able to have an answer to every question that may come about, or are there still areas that need to be filled in?
Yes.
Yes to what?
Yes and yes. Yes, there are areas that need to be filled in, and yes, we will give them answers to every question they have if we have the answer. If you go on the Resource Center today, it's made up of the home page plus 4 additional pages. And one of the pages is called the information page. Other one is called marketing. Another one is called fundraising. And I will forget the fourth one. Training, which I always forget. On those different pages, you'll find different subject areas that you can click on. Now, the way we designed this thing was to make it as user-friendly as we could. And the result of that is if you are really computer literate, you look at this as being very, very old school. And it is old school. What we said is we want people who are very literate or illiterate to be able to get onto this thing and navigate through to a conclusion.
Because we're all old, and so we knew that we had to keep it easy, keep it simple for us, right?
I didn't think you were going to tell them that.
Well, yeah. I'm an official senior citizen this year. Hey, before we go to our break, I want to ask you one more question. Is this an interactive website where people blog and then they give you all the information about their meetings at their places, and they can go in and tell you every specific event that they have coming up? Or is this more like a library?
We specifically decided that it would be a library. And I'll
think there's enough blogs out there?
Yeah, there's plenty of those. I have a bunch of them that I get, and I know where they are, and I usually don't even bother to spend my time with them because I don't have enough time. This website is for providing information and techniques to Tea Party organizations or any organization that wants to access it. It's not a place it's not open to sharing your ideas and thoughts or anyone commenting on your ideas and thoughts. It's pretty closed down. It's easy to navigate. It's just point and click, point and click, point and click, and you go all the way through it. If you need to contact us, on the homepage, there's a contact. So
then let's just say I look at the fundraising page and I say, hey, this stuff is good information, but I've done something that isn't listed here, and I think they would be interested and might want to put it on. I couldn't put it on, or how would I get it on?
You can't get it on. But on that fundraising page, there is a contact button. If you push the contact button, you'll get a display of a telephone number that you can call or an email address you can send an email to with your idea. My personal preference is the telephone.
I know. You're a phone man.
I'm a phone guy.
He's an in-person guy.
I'm a guy that wants to strike up relationships and build relationships, not talk to someone through an email.
Right. I know. I've tried.
I know it doesn't work, does it?
Because I hate the phone. So someone that had a great idea could then email somebody or call you.
Or whoever.
And whoever is on that particular page, and then they can submit the idea and then get it posted on there from?
Yeah, most of what we do is, to give you an idea of the format, we like a short executive summary kind of thing, less than a page of what it's all about. And then if the instructions go on beyond that, that's fine. But we don't like to get a lot of volume.
We can put links on there instead, right?
We can link to whatever you want to link to.
Now, I want to get a little word in here on this because you're being so kind about it, but we did this purposely to keep the quality of the information controlled and vetted. There's a lot of people that have information out there specifically about people or events that have taken place that are not true and they haven't been vetted. And so we've kept this closed to maintain the integrity of the information that is put out there, right?
Yes. And then there was a question about where are we going with this thing. And there is some discussion ongoing about a change of the website. And that's necessary. The thing has only been up 6 months, but we're already having some difficulty with it.
We're already outgrowing it.
Yeah, we want to redesign the web page. We want to redesign the content. But in any event, whatever the outcome of that is, it's going to be easy to navigate because that's the primary goal.
Well, we're up against a break right now, but if you're interested in talking to Peter more about this, you can go to the Resource Center. You can go to, say it again, our website.
How to Tea Party.
howtoteaparty.com or .org, and you can go to one of those contact pages there. We will be right back with Peter Baker from the Benicia Tea Party Patriots, and he's going to be talking about the Get Out the Vote campaign. You're listening to We the People Radio, KTKZ. We'll see you in a minute.
NorCal Tea Party Radio is being sponsored by Big Dog Gabriel Crane. Gabriel has been a huge fan of the Tea Party since 2009. He carries a lot of weight wherever he goes and stands tall for what he believes in. His bite is worse than his bark. Each month we need sponsors to offset the cost of this program. For information on how you can become a sponsor, go to norcalteaparty.org.
Come gather here to reunite, join the revolution. We are strong and standing tall, upholding the Constitution.
Welcome back to We the People Radio. This is Ginny Rapini with NorCal Tea Party and We the People Radio right here on KTKZ 1380 Radio. Welcome back. We have our guest Peter Baker. Before we get to Peter, we need to have your feedback on the radio show. Tell us what you think. You can go to norcalteaparty.com. Leave us a message. Also, if you have guests that you want to hear, let us know that. You can go to our website also for upcoming events, meeting information, and Memorial Day events at the Placer County Fairground that we'll be having. So go to our website for more information at norcalteaparty.com. That's norcalteaparty.com. Welcome back, Peter.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to make a change in subjects now. We went from the Resource Center. Now let's talk about a Get Out the Vote. Why do you feel that it is important to get citizens to the polls? I mean, if they don't want to vote, so what? What's the big deal?
It's all about energy and turnout. I've done a lot of research in the last few days on voter statistics, and for California, we have a mountain to climb just because of the pure registrations. Nationwide, we're a little better off, but California has a mountain to climb. But we can climb it if we can get the voters out. And it all has to do with energy and how much energy can we get in our voter base and how can we stimulate them to get off the couch, to turn off the TV, to fill out, surprisingly, their absentee voter ballots, which statistically, they're a pretty low voter rate. I was very surprised when I started looking at that.
I'm surprised to hear that.
Yes. Yes.
So, and the number of people that get their absentee ballot, what is the percentage that actually send it back?
Well, it varies from location to location, as low as 50% to as high as 85%.
See, I would just assume that people that get their absentee ballot would be 100%.
Well, yeah, you would. And so you say, golly, if I'm going to do a Get Out the Voter campaign, I'm not going to talk to the absentee ballot people. They vote.
Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
That's right. Unless you know the demographics that you're dealing with, you're going to target the wrong people. Another group that you might think would be heavy turnout are the independents. Surprisingly, they're the poorest turnout.
Really?
The independents and decline to states in all areas are the lowest turnout.
Wow.
Yeah, so
what's
groups,
the plan to get them out?
Get Out the Vote is an overwhelming project, and most of if anyone's been involved with it, it usually hinges around a campaign. Requires considerable resources, requires considerable manpower, which is a resource, plus dollars. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I was just involved with one that failed. Mm-hmm. We, right out of the chute, we were in trouble, and we got about 2 hours into it and shut it down.
Wow.
So it has to be well thought out. It's got to be well planned. If you go to the information page on the website and you go down to a bullet that says Get Out the Vote, there are 2 bullets there. One says, what is Get Out the Vote? It's a really good brochure that describes to you, if you don't know what it is, what it is.
So group leaders could go there and get a greater understanding of what they can do to motivate their groups?
Yes. It actually speaks to more of a campaign-style Get Out the Vote program, but recognize that most Get Out the Vote programs are structured that way.
Right.
So that's what you're going to see, and most people look at that and immediately close the book and walk away. The second bullet that you'll see there is a cafeteria GOTV program. This is one that we've put together that will allow a small group or a large group to tailor a Get Out the Vote program to their own resources. The Resource Center provides all of the necessary support that the groups need. We'll provide them with initial reports that allows them to identify their voter bases, helps them identify which groups they want to go after, helps them identify how many resources they have. Do they want a phone? Do they want a mail?
Wow.
What do they want to do? The Resource Center will come out and sit down with them and give them the report and discuss it with them. And from that, then you order another report that gives the detail on the base that you've identified that you want to work with.
That's phenomenal. So that can be found at the Resource Center website, right? And it's howtoteaparty.org.
That's correct.
And .com, right?
Correct.
Howtoteaparty.org, howtoteaparty.com, and then go to the GOTV, which is Get Out the Vote.
Yes, and that's actually on the information page and also the training page. We've put it in 2 places.
Great. Well, I think that that's a critical thing for us to do. I realize that only 20% of the people vote in the primaries, and this primary is the most important primary for the state of California. And we need to get the conservative base out there to vote and make sure we have reasonable candidates on that ballot. Thank you so much, Peter, for coming in, and thank you for persevering even when you got lost. It has been great talking with each of you today. If you're wondering how you can get involved, you can go to our website, NorCalTeaParty.com, and on that website you can have a contact page to us where you can say, I want to do this, and we will be sure that we'll find something for you to do. Don't miss our next meeting where we have our candidate meet and greet. Go to our website, find out all the information, NorCalTeaParty.org. Thank you. Bye-bye.
We are strong and standing tall, upholding the Constitution.
How to get involved? Individuals who want to become part of the NorCal Tea Party Patriots by attending meetings, events, or receiving action alerts, go to our website at NorCalTeaPartyPatriots.org. By signing in as a member, you'll receive our newsletter and action alerts. So get involved. NorCalTeaPartyPatriots.org.